Hello, welcome to Business Reporter's The Future of Responsible Business campaign. I'm Ashley Blake. Experts, journalists, business leaders and politicians most often discuss the technology, engineering and science that can slow down global warming. How about people? People are often presented as customers who demand a change, or citizens who may or may not want to recycle, reuse and reduce. People are also staff members, suppliers, boardroom members and investors. They're individuals and communities, workshops and decision-making boards. They decide together how an organisation is run. They have an impact and a collaboration with other industries, how they train the next generation of professionals and how to guide their customers. They control the businesses, strategies, products and the market trends that we hope to be sustainable. People need the right culture, dedication, skills and knowledge to act responsibly. They also need to see the correlation between a profitable business and compliance with ESG rules. Without them, even the best strategy document and the most dedicated boardroom fails. So how do we build this culture, skills and knowledge? Sarah Mukherjee MBE from IEMA, the professional body for everybody working in the environment and sustainability, believes that the solution is education. Sarah, even the most cynical boardrooms can admit that their businesses are under threat. How prepared are businesses of today?
Well, some really have got the message. We work with more than 350 corporate members, big and small, around the world, who are really making a difference and on that path to a more sustainable business. But there are some that simply haven't, and they are falling further and further behind, not just in terms of competitiveness, but the offer they give to members of their staff team who are really looking for other jobs potentially in a very, very busy market. And so if you want to keep up, you really have to start addressing how sustainable your business is.
Okay, so what are they missing? Why are they behind?
Not just the training and development of individual staff members, but also a mindset. We say there's both you've got to do. First of all is you have to make sure that you are thinking really carefully about every single process along the line, every single transaction you have with your supply chain, with your external stakeholders, but also ensuring that your staff team are trained and aware of what sustainability means for their specific jobs.
What would you say has been the biggest obstacle to building culture, the skills and knowledge?
Well, there are some people, we know, particularly young workers, people in the early stage of their career, under 35, who are already very passionate about this. You might find there are members of your own teams that are already very engaged in the sustainability conversation. What you need to do as an organisation yourself is bring that in at a higher level as possible. They get the C-suite, get the board, get the chief financial and executive officer on board with a change in the skills and training that you have. And it's not just the people who are obviously doing the job, the procurement people, the transport people. You need HR to be aware of this, corporate services, comms. Everybody needs to understand what sustainability means and how big the opportunity is to save money when you're saving carbon and resources.
It sounds like every staff member needs to learn a second job, a second skill, being sustainable. Is that how it really is?
Well, I'd put it in terms of language learning. So some of us have to be absolutely fluent. We have to be able to read newspapers and novels. Some of us just need to order a meal in a restaurant and be able to get our way around a market or a supermarket. And it's the same with sustainability. Obviously, you need some experts in your organisation. But if people have that conversational language around sustainability, if they understand the basics and why it's so important to keep your competitiveness, then that's enough.
So what are the skills and knowledge gaps that we're talking about here?
Well, we did some work with Deloitte last year to provide a toolkit. It's available on the website. It's free for anybody to download, which looks at exactly this. You can put details of your organisation in and it comes up with an assessment of how far along you are on that sustainability journey and what you need to do, what the gap analysis is to make sure that every member of the team is up to date and up to speed with sustainability.
Okay, what does a successful transformation look like?
It's one where there is a very clear guidelines and a clear strategy put in place to get from where you are to where you need to be. And as I said, the work that we did with Deloitte on this toolkit can certainly help. It's also peer-to-peer learning. With the organisations that we work with, the thing that they really value is the ability to talk with each other and understand what works in one sector which may work in another. We cover pretty much every sector in the UK and global economy: transport, procurement, government, and the ability to learn from your peers, I think, is incredibly helpful and certainly the thing that our members really value.
Okay, Sarah, so how does IEMA help?
Well, we help in three ways. Firstly, with training and university courses. We have training providers all over the world, and we accredit university courses both in the UK and internationally. So you can be absolutely certain that those graduates have skills that are really relevant for your workplace. Secondly, we work with our corporate partners to make sure that those changes are going on at an organisational level. So you as a corporate partner can really embed sustainability throughout your organisation. And thirdly, we are really rigorous about our professional standards. We want to make sure that the training and qualifications that you get from IEMA are the best in the world, and we work really hard to make sure you can have that confidence.
Okay, let's take a look at the broader picture. Sustainability in society requires diversity and openness. Is this included in the IEMA offering?
Well, as one of the very few people of colour leading an organisation in this space, I was very aware when I arrived in 2020 that we needed to do far more to make sure that the environment and sustainability sectors reflected modern Britain. We started an organisation called the Diverse Sustainability Initiative. We have more than 50 organisations who have joined us now. I myself lead the People of Colour Network, which is a place to learn, to share best practice, but also a safe space for people who still, unfortunately, are subject to some pretty toxic behaviours.
And finally, Sarah, are you optimistic about the future?
It's funny, we do a podcast and we always ask, I present it and it's our final question to our guests: are you an optimist or a pessimist? Many of our guests are IEMA members and fellows, and they're all optimistic, and I have to share that optimism, because if you work with the people that we do in IEMA, then yes, you are optimistic that we will meet our targets and we will have a more sustainable future.
Sarah Mukherjee, MBE,